I'm struggling. James Carville stumped on how to combat Trump's flurry of activity. I bet he is stumped. It is unprecedented. The what Trump is doing. He is actually following up on his promises. He's actually doing the will of the people. And deep statists and leftists and liberals and all of them alike don't understand what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. But the thing is, the real issue is Trump have the will of the people behind him. The majority of Americans approve of what he's doing. So the Democrat Party doesn't know how to push back against it, because they're going to be looking ridiculous from the things they are speaking out and speaking up against, because again, the average American wants what he's doing. They want these things to happen. So we're going to play the clip and get James Carville take on it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this important information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller News Foundation by way of the Daily Liberty. The Liberty Daily, sorry. And they report that Democratic strategist James Carville said during a Thursday podcast that he has not figured out how to counter President Donald Trump's hyperactive second term. I mean, Trump hit the ground running. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon said in 2028 that, quote, the way to deal with the media is to flood the zone with H, the H word. I try not to curse on my platform too much. But Carville on his Politics War Room podcast said Bannon was correct to say that and implored his audience for help in determining how to effectively oppose Trump. I've never in my life since watching James Carville. I've been watching James Carville back when I was an actual Democrat. I have never heard him ask for help. He's the raging Cajun. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard him ask for help. But let's play this clip here and see what he has to say about it. Here we go.
Bannon is right. We are flooded in shit. And we are searching for a way to deal with this. These are extraordinarily difficult times. And he just keeps moving with one stupid thing after another. I think Tom Friedman, who said today that, of course, state the obvious, the Gaza proposal is the dumbest thing an American president has ever come up in the Middle East. Of course, 100% true. Thank you. Panama Canal, Greenland. My favorite is but the country of my great-grandfather's birth, and I've been to the house he grew up in, Copenhagen. Is now saying they're going to buy California. And I'm telling the Danes, I'll chip in.
No, James, wait a minute. How about giving them, I don't know, Idaho? Some other place.
I mean, the point is, we have these conversations. We talk to people on the phone. We go to cocktail parties and dinners, and we have things. When you sit back and see, when you take it one by one, it's so much crazier than you can imagine that we're having this discussion. And I one of the dangers that we have is we just become like, it just becomes elevator music or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you accentuate. Do you oppose one thing? Do you oppose all five? Is it a personnel issue? Is it a policy issue?
It's a policy issue, because this is what Americans want. Like, that's what I keep reiterating. That's what I keep stating. So if you go against what Trump, if you're going against Trump just to be anti-Trump, then you're going against the American people. As simple as that. And so it makes the Democrats look like crying, whining babies because Trump keep hitting them with something, and every time they hit them with something, they are against it, and they look like fools.
Maybe some of our well, I'm struggling here a little bit, so maybe some of our really smart viewers can help us untangle a little bit. It's really tangled now because no one knows where to land. It's all too incomprehensible.
Yeah, it is, and I think what Bannon said was that the press can never keep up, and I think some of the press, the New York Times, some of even the downsized Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal broke that terrific story about the Musk aid. But I think there needs to be more effort. The Bulwark does great work on that too. I really do believe that there needs to be more oppositional institutions set up. The lawyers are doing okay, but there's so many things. Let me give you an example. We focus on the top tier and how bad Patel and Bobby Kennedy and Hegseth and Gabbard are. But where do you see the second, third, and fourth? I mean, just a couple examples. The spokesman at the Defense Department is going to be Sean Parnell. He was a Pennsylvania congressional and Senate candidate who had to drop out because in a custody battle, the judge said his wife was right. He had assaulted her and gave custody of their children to her. I mean, that's now the top spokesman at the Pentagon. I guess he'll probably bond well with Hegseth. And Darren Beatty is the Undersecretary for Public Diplomacy. He was fired from the first administration for associating with white nationalists. That's a calling card now. Joe Kent has been named the head of the National Terrorism Center. He also was an unsuccessful candidate who associated with white nationalists and said January 6th prisoners were political prisoners and that he called for defunding the FBI. This is the head of the Terrorism Center. And finally, Marco, what's his name? Alex or whatever it is, Musk trooper, was initially fired for bragging he was a racist before it was cool. I was cool before it was cool to call someone a racist. Then he was reinstated, and Musk criticized the Wall Street Journal reporter who broke the story. You know, James, they're going to be a lot more like this. A lot more like this.
They
are upset.
Trump had dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Nick Fuentes and Yee.
Who cares? Okay? And it's Ye, not Yee. If you go talk trash, try to get the name right. I mess up names because I'm just not good at pronouncing people's names. He's messing it up because he's just being an idiot.
There's nothing. It's like we say, well, you're right to point out the Deputy Secretary for Public Affairs or the this or that. You know, the tentacles of this go right down. The tentacles start at the top when the former president of the United States and current president of the United States invites Nick Fuentes to dinner. Is there anything that you can say?
I mean, I'm no fan of Nick Fuentes, but who cares? I don't care. I don't care who he sit down and eat with and talk to. Just because you disagree with people don't mean you can't sit down and have dinner with them and talk to them and try to persuade them and bring them over to your side. I mean, it harkens back to this brother I was watching. It was very, very interesting. I think he written a book on it and everything. This brother would go and meet Klan members. The black dude would meet Klan members and try to get them and try to talk to them and try to stop them from being racist. He actually would collect the Klan members' uniforms after he converted them, after he actually sat down and talked to them. And this is, I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You should be able to sit down and talk to people, even if they despise you or don't like you. Why can't you sit down and have a conversation with that person? I don't see anything wrong with that. So with Trump sitting down and talking to Fuentes, even though I vehemently disagree with almost everything that dude has to say, especially when it comes to the racism part, I disagree with everything with that. That doesn't mean I can't sit down and have a conversation with him.
I don't know. Maybe a talented musician. I don't think anybody would say he's a model of sanity in the United States. Again, we're getting overwhelmed, and things that we thought that would kill a political career, that would be poisonous for whatever reason. This guy keeps trugging along.
Yeah, and that's that's why I think there have to be opposition organizations that step up. I mean, not
So here they go. They call it for organizations, not grassroots stuff, because they know grassroots. They know the majority of Americans, like I said, is loving what Trump is doing. So he's talking about, we need some organizations to step in and do something about this. We need some elite organizations. We need more fundings. We need to get together and put together a group. I don't know, like the World Economic Forum, to come together and try to get these people back in line. This is what This is what the elites talk about.
Democratic Party, organizations, but more bulwarks, more groups like this, because there is so much stuff going on. I will say,
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But y'all, let me know what y'all think about this. What do you think about what the Raging Cajun has to say about this? Calling for help and try to figure out. He flabbergasted. He don't know what to do about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.